You dive for a ball that isn't there. Your body stretches across the goal. Your fingers grasp at empty air. The ball rolls into the opposite corner. You think you just guessed wrong. But the real reason you dive that way is far stranger. Your brain saw a ball that never existed. How is that possible? This is not a metaphor. Inside your visual system, a phantom ball was constructed. It was so vivid, so real, that your motor system acted on it. You dived for a prey that never left the kicker's boot. Your brain is a biological motion detector. It evolved over millions of years to read the intentions of other living things, not just humans, but predators, prey, rivals. For your ancestors, a single misread movement could mean death. So your brain learned to predict. In the 1970s, a psychologist named Gunnar Johansson did a simple experiment. He attached tiny lights to the joints of actors. Then he filmed them moving in complete darkness. All you could see were a handful of moving dots. No body, no face, just dots. And yet, within a fraction of a second, you saw a human. You saw walking, running, dancing. You could even tell if they were happy or sad. Johansson had uncovered the brain's biological motion processor. It needs almost nothing. A few points of light moving in the right pattern, and your brain paints the full moving body. Now fast forward to a penalty kick. The kicker is a complex biological motion display. But your brain doesn't treat it as a whole picture. It fixates on specific cues. The angle of the hips, the planting of the supporting foot, the loading of the striking leg. A researcher named Gert Savelsberg tracked the eye movements of elite goalkeepers. He found something remarkable. They don't watch the ball. They watch the kicker's body. In the final second before the strike, their eyes lock onto the kicker's hips. Why the hips? Because the hips reveal the future direction of the ball. The brain calculates the kinetic chain. Hips first, then shoulders, then leg, then ball. And your brain starts filling in the trajectory before the ball is even struck. Your visual system runs a simulation. It takes the early kinematic data and builds a predictive model of the ball's flight. This is not a conscious calculation. It's happening in your dorsal stream, the brain's how pathway. In milliseconds, it projects a virtual ball arcing through the air. And it tells your muscles, there, dive for that. So you do. But here's the vulnerability. That same predictive genius can be hijacked. The striker knows about your brain's machinery. Millions of years of evolution opened a back door. A hip feint. By rotating the hips as if to shoot left, the kicker feeds your biological motion detector false data. Your brain's prediction engine seizes on that hip angle. It sprints ahead, completes the pattern, constructs a phantom ball flying left. You see it. Your conscious experience includes that imagined ball for a split moment. Then your body commits. Your feet push. Your arms stretch. You're in midair when the real ball, struck with the inside of the right foot, glides calmly to the opposite corner. You are left grasping at a ghost. This is not about guessing wrong. It's about prediction and deception. A neuroception named Nico Troje studies how your brain processes deceptive biological motion. He has shown that the brain's motion perception is so fast and automatic that even when you logically know a feint is likely, your low-level visual system still takes the bait. The illusion works from the bottom up. Your perception is not a passive recording. It is an active, predictive hallucination. Usually, that hallucination matches reality beautifully. You catch a ball because your brain guessed exactly where it would be. But when a skilled deceiver manipulates the early cues, your brain hallucinates a false reality, and your body obeys it. Think about what this means. When you dive the wrong way, you are not being clumsy. You are not slow. You are a finely tuned prediction machine deceived at the hardware level. The system that normally makes you superhumanly fast has been weaponized against you. The striker doesn't just beat you with the shot. The striker beats your brain's very model of the future. This goes deeper than soccer. Your entire waking life is built on these predictions. When you reach out to catch a falling cup, your brain predicted its path. When you flinch at a fake punch, your brain already modeled the impact. When you feel a phantom phone vibration in your pocket, that's your predictive system running on empty, creating a sensation it expects to be there. Your brain is a fantastical storyteller. It fills in the gaps of the present with its best guess of the future. Most of the time, that story keeps you alive and coordinated. But in front of a penalty kick, the story can be a lie. What makes this so unsettling is the feeling of certainty. Goalkeepers often say they were sure it was going there. And they were sure because their brain gave them the full visual experience. The phantom ball is not a vague hunch. It's a perception. A vivid, convincing piece of reality. When the real world contradicts it, your brain scrambles to make sense. You feel shock and embarrassment. Your own senses have lied to you. You believe your senses are reliable. But they are not. Fast, predictive, and fallible. Even the best goalkeepers in the world die for phantom balls. Studies show that at the elite level, keepers start moving before the ball is struck about 40% of the time, because they have to. A penalty taker can drive the ball at 130 kilometers per hour. If you wait until you see the ball, you're already beaten. So you must commit to a prediction. You must dive for a ball that is still a probability cloud. And when the striker's hips lie, that probability cloud condenses into a false certainty. Why would evolution allow such a glaring flaw? For nearly all of human history, there were no penalty kicks. Deception was possible, yes. A predator might feint, a rival might fake a throw. But the cost of hesitation was almost always higher than the cost of a false positive. If you wait for certainty, the saber-toothed cat would already have you. Your brain evolved a bias, acting on the best available data, even if it's sketchy, even if it means diving for a ghost. It's the same principle as a smoke detector that screams when you burn toast. Annoying, but far better than staying silent during a real fire. In the modern world, you are surrounded by these false alarms. The phantom ball is just one of them. Your ancient systems, tuned for a world of predators and tribal threats, now fire on the soccer pitch. Or when a stock market chart looks like a pattern it isn't. Or when a notification buzz sets your heart racing. You are living in a world where your predictive brain is constantly building little phantoms. And most of the time, you don't even notice. So how do you train against a ghost? Some research suggests elite goalkeepers are actually more susceptible to certain kinematic deceptions, because their expert reading of cues lets a well-designed feint hit their prediction system with high-fidelity false data. It's like feeding a forged document to the world's best handwriting analyst. The better you are at reading, the more completely you can be fooled. But elite keepers also adapt. They learn to regulate their commitment. They might wait a fraction of a second longer. They dampen their trust in the hips. They train to perceive the deception itself. A second-order reading, not just where the hips are pointing, but how they are pointing. Is there a micro-expression of balance that the feint can't hide? Is the plant foot too far back? This is the arms race between striker and keeper. One builds better phantoms. The other learns to recognize the phantom as a phantom. But at the end of the day, the system remains the same. You are a biological motion detector. That detector will continue to generate phantoms, because that's what it does. That's what keeps you alive when a real ball or a real threat comes hurtling toward you. Next time you watch a penalty shootout, you'll see it differently. You won't see a goalkeeper making a silly mistake. You'll see two competing brains, one trying to project a false future, one trying to detect the truth inside the projection. And you'll see a body hurling itself through the air, sure of a ball that was never there. That's not a failure. That's your brain doing its ancient job. It's the same brain that once helped your ancestors survive a charge in the tall grass. It's the same brain that lets you catch a set of keys tossed across the room without thinking. It's a system so fast, so tuned to the living world, that it would rather be fooled by a ghost than be late for a real ball. So the next time you find yourself in goal on a dusty field or just in your imagination, feel the grass. See the striker approach. Watch those hips swivel. And then, for a split second, you'll see the phantom. You'll see the ball that isn't there. You'll die. And you'll know. You dive for a ball that isn't there.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. There's much more to discover.